So welcome back. Now in this video, as you guys can see, we successfully updated the name for that current user, and also the profile one, and also in the Firebase as I showed you before. So you guys can notice in here the name for this current user was before share, and now it's Gul. So remember that. And also just look at to the profile picture, we updated that right in here. Now if we go back and in here click right in the list view, this post was uploaded by share, and also this one, and we successfully updated the name for this share to Gul, and also the profile one we successfully updated that. But in here, as you guys can notice in here, it didn't update the name and the profile because we didn't create a method for that yet. Separately you will create a method for the profile one and also the share name. Then we will be able to change that name and profile right in here in the list view and also in the grid view. If we go to this, in here as you guys can see the profile picture and the name share. We successfully updated that right in the profile. But in the honor information it didn't update because, as I told you, we didn't create the method yet. We will work on that in a while. So go back and let me show you that image also. This picture was also uploaded by share, as you guys can see. And if you check the profile, as you guys know already, we changed his name from share to Gul in here, and also the profile one. So we want that whenever we update the name, and also the profile picture, we want also that to be updated right in here. The name and the profile. So now we will do that and update it right in here, but first we will update the profile, profile image, and then later on we will work on the name. So let's go and work on that. So right down below in here, this method above the widget build, as you guys can see, in here we will create method by the name update, profile image on users existing post. As you guys can see right in here, update profile image on user existing posts. So there's a post existing. Now we name this as it is, or you can change it whatever you want. So in here this will be asynchronous. Now let's start it down, start working. First we will simply create our instance to the Firebase Firestore and write in the collection of a wallpaper, for that specific ID for the current user who is online. Let me show you that right in the Firebase Firestore. In here, go to the wallpaper. We're gonna create an instance right to the Firestore database. As you guys can see in here, to this collection wallpaper, and right inside that to that specific ID. So in here, as you guys can see that ID, because similar right here and is uploaded by share, and also this one, the ID right in here is also similar. It's uploaded by share. And we updated that name to the Gul, as I showed you before. If you don't know, let me show you that the name right in the user. If you come here to the share, that one, as you guys can see, we successfully changed that right in here in the Firestore database and also in the app. And later on, whenever we completed with the user image, then we will work on that name right in the wallpaper collection. So just don't get confused in that. So for now, as I tell you, you will create an instance to the Firebase Firestore right in the collection of wallpaper, and to that specific ID, for that current user who uploaded their images. Okay, so that ID in here, you can notice that right in here. Okay, and right in the second post, that ID right in here, it's similar. Okay, there we go. Okay, so first let's go and create a instance to that collection, right, for the specific ID. Okay, in here first we will say await, and then let's create that instance, Firebase Firestore instance. Okay, right to the collection wallpaper. Okay, the name must be similar, guys. Okay, wallpaper. So that's fine right in here, and then where we want to make that instance right to the collection wallpaper, and write in the specific ID as I showed before in the Firebase. So in here we will say where, take this down so that you guys can see easily. Okay, we will say to that specific ID. Okay, and it must be equal to the Firebase auth. Let me add that in here, Firebase auth instance, as you guys can see, for that current user, specific current user with their UID. Okay, so we're gonna check that, and right, we're gonna get, okay, get the user images. Okay, so in here then we will say, and right in here snapshot, it's going to contain all of the data, the images. Okay, so snapshot, as you guys can see right in here, and then curly braces in there, semicolon, take this down from here. Now right in there we're going to set the for loop. Okay, because that current user, so right in the future that current user will upload so many posts right in their account. Okay, so then we will not be able to know all of his posts. Okay, so if the user in here will upload so many posts right in here, it's gonna be difficult for us to find it individually. Okay, so instead of that we will simply create a for loop. Okay, in which we will simply get that user images that the user will already upload it. Okay, so we're gonna specify that with the specific index number. Okay, like for example, if the user uploaded 10 posts, then we're gonna get it from first to last, all of the posts. So in here, first let me also show you that right in the Firebase. Okay, Firestore. So in here, as you guys can see, we create an instance right in the Firebase Firestore. Okay, to the collection wallpaper. Okay, for that specific document. Okay, with the specific ID. Okay, so if you guys remember by share, or you can recognize it by this ID. Okay, by this ID and name is share, this user uploaded 2 posts. Okay, the first one is that, as you guys can see that in here, and also in there we go. Okay, 2 posts, and the last one is by Zain Malik. Okay, that's not belong to share. So in future, if the share uploaded so many posts, it's going to be right in here. Okay, and it's going to be more difficult for us to find it individually. Okay, so instead of that, that's why right in here, as you guys can see, we create a instance to the collection wallpaper for the specific ID. Okay, let's go back to the Firebase. Okay, collection wallpaper, that post and that post with the specific ID, we're gonna recognize that by that. Okay, and we're gonna set the for loop, and we're gonna get the images one by one. Okay, that user images, as you guys can see right in here, we're gonna get that and also that. For this, let's say this is on the index 0. Okay, we're gonna get that, and then let's say this one will be on the index 1. Okay, and we're gonna get that. So one by one, if the user uploaded so many posts right in the future, we're gonna get it in that sequence. Okay, and for this we will definitely use the for loop. Okay, so let's go and do that. As you guys know already about this. Okay, let's move further. Right in here we will set the for loop, okay, and in there is it all by index number, okay. We will create a integer type index, okay, and we're gonna assign a 0, okay. It's gonna start from 0, as I tell you, okay, and then we will simply check that index, okay. That index, for now in this index, its initial value is 0, okay. So it's going to start from the 0 index. So in here we will say index less than snapshot, okay, dot docs dot length, okay. Let's say for now we don't know the total length of this current user posts, okay. So in here, that's why we write that it's gonna get all of the length of all the posts that the current user will upload, okay. If there will be any 10, if there will be 2, if there will be 3, we don't know that. So that's why in here we use that snapshot.docs.length. It's gonna get all of the length of all the posts, okay, and it's gonna check one by one as I show you before, and it's gonna start from 0 and up to so on, okay. So in here we will say index, we're gonna increment it, okay. So for example, on the 0th index there will be a post 1. Whenever this process will be completed, then in this value right in here in the index there will be increment. So whenever there will be increment, then this value will be changed to 1, okay. So in here it will check the index 1 then, okay, from 0 to 1. So that's how it will work, and let's move further right in there, okay. Now we will simply for now post URL, okay, the old URL. Let me show you that right in here. As you guys know, these two posts, okay, right in the Firebase is uploaded by the share, okay. So in here, right in here and in here, we set the for loop. As you guys know the whole story about it now. In here we're gonna get that old URL, okay, that user image, that's a profile image for that current user. We're gonna get that URL, okay. So in here we will say snapshot dot docs, okay, there we go, and with their index number as I tell you about, okay, it's gonna check it with the index number, and which one, the user image, okay, as I show you just a while ago. So we're gonna get that post URL, the old one, and we're gonna assign that to, first we will create in here a variable string type. We can name this as a user profile image, okay, in post. We're gonna assign that to this variable string type, okay. So you guys know in here there will be the old URL, okay, and we assign that to this variable string type. Now let's move further. Now we will also check if that user profile image in post, in here we will check if this not equal to the update user profile, okay, URL. It's gonna contain the update URL for the user profile, this one, okay. We will contain that, and in here we will simply check the old URL with the new one, okay. If the old URL is not equal to the new one, then in that case what we will do, we will simply create an instance to the Firebase, okay, Firestore instance, and write in the collection wallpaper, okay, wallpaper, the name must be same guys, look out for that wallpaper. Let's find right in here, and right in the document we will say snapshot, okay, dot doc, okay, and with their specific index, okay, one by one the post as I told you before, and with their specific ID as I told you before, okay, remember that So we're gonna simply write in the collection of wallpaper, write in the Firebase Firestore, okay? Firebase Firestore, write in the collection of wallpaper for the specific document, okay? With their unique index and their unique ID. We're gonna update the user profile in that post, okay? So in here update, as you guys can see right in here, semicolon, and now right in there curly braces, take this down. Now in here we will simply update the new URL right in the user image, okay? Let me show you that. Right in the Firebase Firestore, in here Firestore database, right in the collection of wallpaper, okay? As I told you, that document, okay, with their specific ID, okay? And the index will be 0. It's gonna start from 0, as I showed you before in the for loop. It's gonna start from 0. For example, let's say this gonna be on the 0 index and this gonna be on the 1 index for that specific document, okay, with their specific ID, okay? ID in here and ID in here with the specific index. So in here we're gonna update this URL to the new URL, okay? So it's gonna successfully update the user image in the existing post. So I hope you guys can get the idea, and you guys will also notice the output whenever we will test the app. So let's go back to the Android Studio. So in here we're gonna say user image, okay? We're gonna update in there what the new URL, okay? As I tell you before, this image, user image URL contain the update URL, as I tell you, okay, in here. So that's the process. And now we're gonna above this method, okay, we created this hole, okay, above that in here in this method, okay, down in here you will say a dot, remove the semicolon, say dot when complete, okay, remove that from here. So in here semicolon first and then curly braces, take this down, okay, in here call upon that method of that profile, that one, okay, call upon that right in here. And I explained this method in detail before, okay? This will simply get the new URL, okay, and will store right inside the user image. And that's why we call upon that method right in there, okay? Whenever it's complete, we will call upon that. And now we will simply and here guys, notice that, okay, there's the old profile for now, okay? Now we will simply go and click on this run man.dot and let's upload the new profile, okay? Let's go to the profile screen in here. So now in here let's go and update the profile for now. Click in here, I'll go with the gallery one. So in here in the downloads I downloaded some images, okay, so I'll go with this one, profile image, okay, you guys can crop it whatever you want. Let's click on that. So in here, as you guys notice, the profile has been successfully updated right in here, okay. Now we will simply go to the owner information and we will check that if it's updated there or not. Let's go and check that, okay. It's loading, guys, just wait for a while, okay. It's gonna take some time in updating the image, okay. So now if you click on this and go to the owner information, there will be the update profile picture, as you guys can see right in here, okay. It's gonna loading that one. It will be also in the owner information. Let's go and check that. There we go, the image has been successfully updated, okay, right in the owner information. And there we go with the share, okay. So we successfully changed the profile and also in the owner information, okay, in the existing post. Let's also check in this one, because this was also uploaded by the share. Okay, there we go, it's working totally fine. And let me also show it in the list view. Okay, as you guys can see, profile in here, share, and profile in here, share. Okay, working totally fine. Okay, now you guys notice that profile is totally working fine. Now the name, okay, in here it's share, and if you go to the profile, we updated that to Gul. Okay, so right in the next video we will simply, let's say, whenever we updated in here the name, like I changed to Gul right in here. Okay, the name of this current user was before share. Okay, as you guys know, now I want that whenever I change the name for that current user, for any kind of user, whenever I change it right in here, I will also want that right in the owner information. Okay, right in here. So right in the next video we will create a method for that, and in here we will update the name. So see you in the next video. Let's go back and we will start working right in the next video.